Do you remember growing up when it was a hot summer day and the ultimate treat was if you were allowed to have a float? How good was that? And what's even better is that now that we're adults, we can make them boozy. So let's take a look at a couple of ways to incorporate ice cream into cocktails and hit all of those nostalgic buttons. Ice cream in cocktails actually has quite a long and venerable history. It's unsurprising that the US, home of the soda parlor, was an early adopter. So in William Schmidt's book, The Flowing Bowl, which was published in 1892, he actually included no less than 20 ice cream cocktails. Wisconsin as well has really made ice cream cocktails their own thing. It's a big dairy state and also where the Waring blender was invented, so it does make sense. At supper clubs there, dessert's often an ice cream drink where they substitute ice cream for cream in things like the grasshopper, which I have made here if you're interested. It's also the birthplace of the wonderfully named pink squirrel cocktail. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any creme de noyau to make that today, but I would love to hear if any of you have tried one in the comments below. Now in Australia, we call floats spiders because of that kind of spidery web that happens when the ice cream hits the bubbles. And they had their own long history here as well. Back in the gold rush era, sort of pre-refrigeration, ice cream would have been the ultimate luxury and they were drinking some spiders to keep themselves cool. So let's look at one of William Schmidt's recipe and then a kind of twist on the original Australian spider. So for this one, he uses brandy as the main base and then just a little splash of Jamaican rum. In his recipe, it was just a dash, but I'm gonna go 10 mils. See, brandy was very popular in that era. So I've got 50 mils of brandy. I'm using a nice, slightly higher proof one, which cuts through really well in this cocktail. So I think it's 44%. So if you can find something that's got a little bit more grunt to it, that's good. And then just a little 10 mils of rum. So really just an accent here. Then we're gonna go in with some lime juice. So I think the idea is this ends up like a little bit kind of creamy, popsicle-y, limey. So 20 mils of that. And then a little bit of sugar syrup. Obviously it's gonna depend on your ice cream, how much. So I would just start to 5 to 10 mils. And then you can always add a bit more if necessary. Dairy can take quite a lot of sweetness though. And then we need to go in with the star of the show, our ice cream. So one healthy scoop of that. And then we're just gonna shake it up. Good, I think that's sweet enough for my taste. Then we're just gonna double strain this in. Look at that, so decadent. So obviously here the ice cream is basically working as like an emulsifier, so almost like, rather than cream or rather than egg white, it's gonna give you heaps of body and texture and a little vanilla scent as well. And then we're gonna do a little bit of lime zest over the top, just really make it pop. Give this a try not to spill it on myself. It's so good. Total kind of guilty pleasure. It's actually really not too sweet, like with the lime in there, and it's got like a good grunt of sort of booze obviously as well. It's more like kind of like a cream popsicle, but actually quite tart, which means that it's super refreshing as well. Yeah, good job, William Schmidt. Big fan. I reckon this is a perfect drink to wow your guests with at your next dinner party. You could even chuck it in the blender as well. The glorious fourth. So now you know. Did you drink floats growing up as a kid? Well, now that we're adults, we can add booze too. How good is that? Here in Australia, we call them spiders because of that spidery web that happens when the ice cream hits the carbonation and the bubbles. And this is kind of as close to the original spiders that would have been drunk here in Australia during the gold rush era. Thank you to Anna Bosco who did all the research on that. And if you are in Melbourne, she's doing pop-ups called the Tipsy Spider this summer. So I'll drop the Instagram below and you can chuck them a follow and try some of their delicious variations. Now for this one, Anna does actually say that it probably would have been brandy that was in this at that time, but I thought I'd go with a little Australian whiskey because we have just done a brandy and ice cream cocktail, so mixing it up a bit. This is the Archie Rose Double Rye. So just 30 mils of that, and that'll give you that nice big boozy base. And then, you know, we're trying to adultify this a little bit, so I thought a little bit of Amaro wouldn't go amiss, as again, a little twist of my own. Those kind of herbal flavors and a bit of juiciness, and also a little bit of sweetness, which actually will help in here too. So you could use Montenegro or something instead if you don't have the Nonino, so 20 mils of that. Then just about 10 mils of lemon juice, maybe even a little bit less. It's really just a dash just to brighten everything up there. And given that this is the original Australian Spider, we're gonna go with the good Aussie icon Bundaberg ginger beer, but any good quality spicy ginger beer will work here. Obviously, if you don't have your sort of fancy sundae glass, then you can absolutely do it in just like a big rocks glass. Just a splash in here, then we're gonna add some ice. So I'm gonna fill it up a little bit more, but obviously you want to leave room for your all-important ice cream. I'm gonna go a nice big scoop of that. Mine has actually been out of the freezer for a little minute here, so we're getting a little bit melty, but that's all right. I'm gonna go a little bit more because you know what? I'm an adult and my mom can't tell me what to do anymore. So I'm gonna pile that up a little bit there. You can see it starting to combine. But I think the best thing about these drinks is that obviously they sort of, you know, change while you're drinking it, and the ice cream incorporates a little bit more. Then we're gonna do a little bit of nutmeg over the top here. Proper sundae style. Go a couple of cherries in here. And of course you'll need a straw to mix this and get all of the deliciousness. Sneak that in there as well. Here we are, the original Australian Spider. Totally just tastes like summer. Really fun, takes me back to my mum and dad's garden. So you're getting a little bit of the ice cream and vanilla at the moment, but obviously that'll continue to sort of melt in. You're getting all those nice little spidery webs. So we've got the classic Australian Spider. Whether it's hot and sunny or you're just blasting the heating and pretending that it's summer, buy yourself a tub of ice cream and get mixing. Wisconsin will be proud, and you do deserve it. Ice cream cocktails, so now you know.